Joining. Joining is the active, conscious expression of connecting. It is the genuine acknowledgement of strength, good intent, and commonality between individuals. Joining helps one to find a place of agreement and good intention with another. This skill teaches you to become a great observer. You can use the joining skill anytime you recognize or observe some commonality or interconnection between you and another individual. You can join around food, clothing, sports, music, research product, etc., and on an emotional level. The act of joining could look like making a simple factual statement that points out something you have in common with someone else, or the act of doing something that points out what you have in common with someone else. It implies that we are not alone, that we are alike in many manners. It can open a door to a simple, meaningful conversation with a stranger, or spark a new friendship, or even build a stronger bond with a coworker, friends, and family. This skill is used to connect with a person on a human level, so that we're both here in this moment having this human experience. It can disarm or take down walls of age, race, position, or title. It can be genuine. It can state what is factual. It can stay in the here and now kind of statement. Don't add your thoughts or opinions about what you observe, just like, dislike, or nice.
Many of us walk through life daily without making true human connections. We may say hello to coworkers and discuss work or a shared project, or smile at a stranger in line at a store. Even with those we treasure the most, how often do we ask the generic question, "How was your day?" Then go back to house chores, or even worse, go back to our cell phones with no further conversation? How often do we choose to take the time to truly see or observe each other, connect or find specific things about each other that are clear and apparent? With the skill of joining, you become intentional about observing others, live in the moment, and find some commonality or a place of agreement that joins us together as human beings. So, let's dive in deeper and learn more about how to join others.
I've been down, I've been down, I've been wasting all my time a day. Oh, those things she say. So I've been down and I've been wasting. I don't think I've got the patience to say what I need to say. Oh, I don't think that I'll say what
That's good.
I need.
Just don't know, no. Said I just don't know, don't know. I just don't know, yeah, don't know. Said I just don't know, no, no, no. Come on, say what, yeah, what.
Bring it in.
Tell them that I just don't know.
One is a Caucasian male that's playing the guitar, then an older African American male comes and joins, then a younger African American male starts rapping. So you're talking about generations, you're talking about different races, because we said that in the very beginning when Greg talks about it has nothing, it takes down how, you know, your age, your race, your title, you know, they don't even know who they are. And like the person that's sitting on the ground playing the guitar could be a billionaire and nobody know it, but so that's what I'm saying. It's like they all came together, and the song was the amazing thing. The guy was singing about not being able or needing to know what to do because he needed to communicate something to his girlfriend, but whatever wasn't working. And then every guy came and kind of put a part to the song to identify what he was singing about, to say, hey, listen, I know what you're going through so they said it in song. They didn't say words or anything. And then the other joining part of it was people were taking video shots of all the look at all that engagement. Look at all that each person did not come to that situation to listen to this guy play the guitar. Matter of fact, I think it was a subway right beside the store. So people were kind of going in the subway and coming out. But in a moment, they all took a breath to be a part of this beautiful interaction that we call joining. Wonderful.
Yeah, say what?
Tell her that I just don't know.
Don't know.
Tell her that I just don't know. Tell her that I just don't know. Tell her that I just don't know. Tell her that I just don't know. Tell her that I just don't know. Look, hey, look, see, now I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'ma just hold it down and keep my head up high. And if I do that, then I'ma make it out alright. And if I don't, well, I'ma just try to sleep tonight. And if I can't, then I'ma just get down on my knees and pray that he can take care of me and make everything all great. Okay? Well, then I guess it's just something that I gotta do and keep it simple me and you. And if you don't understand, then I'ma say it again. Hey, sometimes I just don't know. Well, sometimes I just don't know. 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 I needed that one, man. I appreciate that.
So we had an example of joining that didn't require a statement, Christina, that we had human beings just in the moment joining. Tell me more about what you saw.
I think that it was probably the most powerful example of joining because you have everyone on this, you know, in this platform that at first glance, what do I have in common? What do I have in common with you? And just as the scene progresses, it becomes clear that we're all coming from the same place and just using a different method of joining. I think that was very powerful.
One of the things in this engaging part is that one of the things that we can pick from it regarding joining is the initial move, like the initial act of getting involved.
Right.
Joining requires involvement even when it may seem difficult, it may seem awkward, but it's something that needs to happen. Like even when we're talking about the parent and the child, and even at the very beginning, we're talking about commonality. We're talking about commonality, and we're talking about the desire to, as an intervention, to help, to support. And so with the music scene and so forth, it's hearing and recognizing that there's a need, and then how I can connect with what that individual is struggling through. So that individual is struggling through a moment they're struggling through a situation, and I'm going to go side by side. I'm going to connect with them. I'm going to join with them in that moment with the purpose to help them, to better them, so that their outcome is different and changes.
Absolutely. I don't know if you noticed that originally when the first guy came up to the scene, he was just standing there at first, you know, kind of going, rocking with the music, but then he took his towel or whatever, like a hanky, and he just swiped it to the guy to say, hey, I'm here with you. Did you notice that? That was so powerful, and he didn't say a word. And then he started singing about how can I communicate in a relationship? The same exact thing that the guy was singing, but kind of different. But they were all singing the same message of, I'm a guy, I have a problem with my girlfriend, I'm not sure what to do or what to say, and they joined. And then the second guy came along who was much younger in a whole nother era of life that started rapping about the same exact situation. I thought that was just out of control. It was just so powerful how they all joined. And although, like you said earlier, Greg, to help support, bring healing or maybe more understanding to the person who started the song, but maybe even for themselves. Because I'm sure after that experience, they went home and told someone, or you know, called another person and say, hey, I just did such and such, you know, and guess what? It made it on YouTube. So now we were a part of being able to witness this beautiful connection about joining. Also, what about the people, the standbyers? What they were doing? What videotaping? They were part of it. So here we have like people streaming, and you just don't know how many people that touched in that moment of joining. You know, powerful.
And I love how everyone in this situation was open to connecting with each other. I mean, there's so many, you know, situations in this world where people are so quick to cut each other off. But this was a situation when, you know, actions said it all when words were not enough. And everyone was just open to each other and accepting of each other. And it just made this whole thing work.
Beautiful. And I'm so proud, I'm so grateful that it was shared, you know? Yes.
Right, okay. And so the challenge for joining for everyone is this. Whether it be your colleagues at work, family, friends, relatives, what you want to do is look for that commonality. What you want to do is observe and check out and see what item you can connect with that individual that is connected to yourself, and create a statement that blends and merges the two together. Now understand this, that usually joining is in a difficult or challenging situation. So what it really requires a skill of being able to bridge the gap between that individual that's having a difficult time and finding that commonality that you can connect to, be it a challenging situation or what have you. Go ahead and practice, work on that, create sentences and things that can help that situation be better.